Regardless of what time in the year you're watching this video, there's probably something you could be doing to prepare for the internship process and timeline. After you finish watching this video, of course. There are going to be 4 overall stages that I'll break into preparing, applying, interviewing, and the offer stage. I'll walk you through what you need to do at each stage of the internship process to really maximize your chances and also utilize your time effectively moving forward. So let's dive right into the preparation stage. Now, preparing is probably just going to be the most boring because, well, no one really likes to prepare, so to speak. However, I do believe in the old adage that failing to prepare is preparing to fail, so let's really strap in and figure out how we can prepare and utilize the most of our time. There are a couple different things you can prepare for the tech interview. One of those is going to be a framework in which you use to answer any of your data structure algorithmic questions. This ranges from understanding the question all the way through actually implementing and coding the solution. And having the structure on lock can really make it a lot easier to come up with answers on the fly, especially if this problem is something that you've really never seen before. Now, the second thing to prepare is purely just competence when it comes to coding and technical interviews. You can gain this competence by, again, grinding out LeetCode, but you can also seek out better strategies, like looking at the top 75 list of LeetCode questions on places like Blind or LeetCode itself, or practicing with a friend using the binary search site, or using HackerRank, for example, to tackle some slightly different challenges. And the third thing that I think is really important for tech interviews that a lot of people miss is just communication. Good engineers know how to communicate their problems and also communicate their thought process. If you just go through the tech interview without really explaining what you're doing, it's going to be pretty hard for an outsider to actually understand what you're going through, what you're thinking, and the different types of solutions and min-maxes that are going through your head at that exact time. Now, the second thing you want to practice interview-wise is going to be the behavioral interview. My last video is all about the behavioral interview, so you can check that out for a deeper dive, but you just want to have the basic answers on lock for each of the common questions that they'll ask you. Know the tell me about yourself answer and really know how you can sell yourself, as well as why you're applying to this particular position or role. Also be prepared to answer any of the tell me about a time questions because those are going to be the most generic and also easy to prepare for because there's less specific preparation you need to do there. There's no LeetCode grinding here, just a general understanding of your stories that you have in your back pocket and how they can apply to any situation that is going to be asked of you. Now, the last thing for you in the preparation phase is going to be mock interviewing. I truly believe that mock interviewing is going to be the best utilization of your time once you feel comfortable on the basics. Mock interviewers can help you feel more comfortable with the stressful situation, give you blank stares, and really bully you into feeling like you're actually in an interview. Just recreating that stressful environment can help your body adjust to the actual stressful part of the interview, and it'll make you feel a lot more comfortable when it comes to just dealing with those awkward, uncomfortable situations or pauses in interviews. Additionally, mock interviews really force you to go through the steps, and the more that you're practicing what you're actually going to be doing, the better you'll be at that particular thing. So more preparation is always better, and that's why you'll often see people start preparing way ahead of advance of the actual internship quote-unquote season. If you want to be on track for the big recruiting season, which happens in fall by the way, then a great time to start is just during the summer. Especially if you aren't currently busy with a full-time job, then utilizing your time effectively during the summer is going to be a great way to get a head start on the preparation process. Spending just an hour or two a day will really make leaps and bounds in your progress over a course of a month. Now, think about it. That's only 40 to 80 hours in a month, and that's basically just 1 week of if you had a full-time job. Now, you can really go in and spend 10 or 20 hours a week doing this, but really for the sake of your livelihood, enjoyment, and entertainment, I would encourage you to stay on the lower end of that rather than the higher end. Now, this is just a general recommendation, so it's never too late or never too early for you to start preparing. Now, applying to me is the least nerve-wracking part and also the easiest part of this whole process. For the most part, a lot of applications have this simple, easy apply process where all you do is upload your resume, and a lot of the other fields will just auto-populate based off of your resume. There are 2 general strategies that people use when they apply for jobs. They either apply for every single company that comes up on their radar, or they choose to selectively apply to companies that really catch their attention. For the vast majority of people who don't really have the flexibility to be choosy, then applying for every company on your radar is really your best shot because it maximizes the chances of your resume being picked up and seen and considered for a role there. On the other hand though, if you have a lot of experience in your resume already and you know that your resume is pretty recruitable, then you definitely have the luxury of being a little bit more choosy and selecting a handful of companies that you really want to go for in this next recruiting season. All in all though, just don't get too hung up on things. Opportunities are always abound, and sometimes when one door closes, another will open, and vice versa. Rejection is a very normal process of the recruiting season, and you'll probably get rejected here more times than you ever will other times in your life. If you want to get a little bit more nuance about how you apply though, then I would consider tracking your applications. Track the name of the company, the role you applied for, a link to the job posting, when you applied, and the different stages, so recruiting screening, phone screen, final round, etc., that we'll talk about in the next section. Having a tracker like this can really help with organization and really help you keep on top of scheduling interviews and understanding how far along the process you are with different companies. The only caveat though is that it can be a little bit harder to keep track of if you've applied for tons of companies, so debate if this is worth it for you. If you're having trouble getting leads, other avenues of opportunities include conferences and hackathons if you're able to attend any of them, or look for exclusively online hackathons and conferences, especially if there are any free ones coming up. I know conferences are usually pretty expensive, but be on the lookout to see if your school does any sponsorships or if any clubs also are offering any sponsorships to conferences, because those can also be great opportunities that not many people apply for. Now, the third stage and the toughest stage is going to be interviewing. Now, when the responses start to trickle in, it can feel pretty overwhelming, but it can also feel pretty good. Your resume has picked up the attention of someone at this company, and now you finally have a chance to get to prove that you're worthy of working at this company, all through the process of just a couple hours. Now, there are 4 general types of interviews that I see for the internship process. 1 is going to be a general online coding assessment. 2 is a recruiter phone screen. 3 is a phone screening with a coding assessment. And 4 is the final round interview, which can involve a mix of behavioral and coding aspects. Of course, if you're not a software engineer and you're a PM or UX designer, instead of coding, it'll be whatever is your respective discipline, so a product question or a design-related question. Now, for each of these, scheduling will look a little bit different, but I know that it can be really tricky to work around school and work if you have any work obligations. The best recommendation I can give is to just generally schedule 1 to 2 weeks out, because it gives you a little bit more time to prepare, and you can also do specific company research in the meantime. However, if the recruiter is giving you a tighter deadline, then it may make more sense just to schedule as soon as possible, so you're still in the recruiter's radar and considered for the position. Let's talk first about the online coding assessment. This is usually going to be a link to a platform like HackerRank or CodeSignal, and you'll have a specified amount of time to answer anywhere between 1 and 4 questions I've seen on the higher end. There's not much advice I can give here besides hoping that you've done your preparation well, because the online coding assessment will be the first way they start to filter out candidates. You can add comments to your code, but oftentimes it won't really be read, and people will just be looking for your solution and test case output. I know on platforms like CodeSignal that the speed in which you complete your items has an effect on your overall score, and I've heard that if you complete the harder questions first, then that just overall boosts your score a lot higher than completing the easy questions and not being able to tackle the hard ones in time. I don't know if that's true though, so take that advice with a grain of salt. The second type of interview is going to be the recruiter screen. This usually won't be very technical because, again, they're a recruiter, not an actual engineer, so they probably won't be asking you any sort of hard technical question. Instead, they're just looking to gauge your fit for the company, as well as how much you know about the role, what you're interested in for at the company, etc. The recruiter also probably take a decent amount of time just to explain the program, their offerings, and the company itself as well. So just be careful and see if there's anything that you would want follow-up on that the recruiter can answer for you in that time. The third type is going to be a phone screen where you're live on the phone or on a video call with an engineer and they ask you a technical problem. The phone screen stage is usually just 1 interview, but I've also seen it be 2 interviews, and you can be paired with an engineer, PM, designer, and they'll go through a technical question with you. There may also be a little bit of time for a behavioral question thrown in or 2, so also be on your toes for that. The last stage is going to be the final round interview, which can sound super stressful, and trust me, it is probably pretty stressful, especially your first time around. Breathe, you can do it, and you've already made it this far into the interview stage, which means that they like you and they want to bring you on board. The final round stage is usually consisted of 2 to 4 interviews, and they will often also be on the longer side, ranging between 45 minutes to an hour. This gives the interviewer some time to really dive into your background, your experiences, and also to ask you some hard-hitting technical questions as well. Really just try to go into it thinking that the interviewer is just a casual coworker asking you questions and really helping you understand what working at the company is going to be like. Be prepared to answer a vast range of questions from behavioral to technical, and also keep in mind what kind of questions you have for your interviewer. It's a chance for you to explore the culture of the company, what working there is like, and the kinds of projects and products that you'll be working on when you're at that company. Also, just being prepared on this front will make it a lot easier if you happen to wrap up the interview early and the interviewer just happens to give you 30 minutes or so of just pure informational time. With the interviewing stage wrapped up, if you had a successful final round interview, then hopefully you also have an offer in hand. If so, that's awesome and congratulations for you, and sometimes accepting an offer can be a no-brainer. However, if you are fortunate to be in the case where you have offers from multiple companies, here are a few things you consider before accepting one offer over the other. Think about the type of the role and team placement or the type of work that you might be doing at that team and how that differs from one company to another. You can also think about the pay, benefits, location, how much you know about the company, and overall company prestige. While some of these may not matter to you, they will matter to other people, and everyone values something a little bit different. So it's okay if your primary motivation is pay, because, everyone needs to pay rent. With respect to negotiation, there really isn't too much wiggle room, especially on intern offers. So unless you have something especially competitive and very compelling, then it'll be pretty hard to actually get any budge on the intern offer that you've been given. Wrapping this all up in a bow, the overall application season can look something like this. People usually prepare early summer to midsummer, people start applying late summer to early fall, and interview season is anywhere between fall to winter and even sometimes early spring. Also, don't forget that there are a lot of smaller companies that may also have off-cycle recruiting times that may not necessarily be opening applications that early in the summer, so you can also look for applying even in the winter and spring. Also, companies will usually often be accepting applications way later than you may expect, just due to natural attrition and people not really accepting their offers due to a better competing offer or something like that. So keep your chin up for internship applications. All you need is for that one company to say yes, and then you'll be well on your way to your first internship, or even your second, third, or fourth. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all again for a brand new video next week. Bye.